Hi, my name's Kate, and I am a high school math teacher in my 17th year of teaching. So I thought today that I would take you guys along for a day in my life. Today is Halloween, so I've got my Halloween hat on. It is so cold outside. It is 24 degrees. I think this is the first time that we've really gotten this cold in northern Indiana this year, so definitely not ready for it. But anyway, so I thought Halloween would be a fun day to take you guys along, see what sort of shenanigans we get into. My school of study that I am part of, which consists of math, English, science, history, art teachers, music teachers, basically, you know, almost all the different types of teachers. So we came up with a theme and we decided that we were going to do pirates. Yes, I know I look very pirate, so let me show you guys my outfit today. So took a little, math spin on it. So the rest of my team, I've seen several of them. They look fantastic. So I'll be sure to, at some point, get a clip of the other teachers that are in my school of study, or I'll insert a picture at some point to show you because some of them really went all out. It's pretty great. It's just after 8 o'clock. I am gonna go ahead and get a few things together before I see my class. It's a blue day, so I'm gonna see geometry right away and then pre-calc, and then I'll have my plan period, and then I'll have one more geometry class. So I do have a few things to get around before they come in, and they come in less than 10 minutes. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, I'm gonna get some work done, and I will chat with you guys later. 24, this is going to give us plus 10i, and then this negative 6i squared will give us, when we do all the simplifying,
-1.
Nope, well,
I mean,
yep, that's -1,
yeah,
and then it'll give us plus 6. So then we just have to add these together. So our final answer is 30 plus 10i. Can't do anything with it, we're done. Beginning of the school year. And in order to simplify this, we had to multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate of this would have been what? 3 minus the square root of 7, and we would have done this as well. Right. So the conjugate of our square roots, conjugate of our complex numbers, complex conjugates. Okay, so that same concept we're gonna see again. So just like I talked about when we were dealing with our square root functions, our complex rationals, and we had to multiply by that conjugate because we couldn't have a square root in the bottom. We can't have an I in the bottom either. So I need to get rid of that. So in order to do that, just like our square roots, we're going to multiply by the conjugate. So the conjugate of the bottom number. So what's the conjugate of our bottom number? 2 minus 5i. So I'm going to multiply this by 2 minus 5i. But whatever we do to one part, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply this by 2 minus 5i. So standard form, remember, is a plus bi. And we don't have that because we have this big old fraction here. So to separate these and put them in standard form, it's as simple as negative 14 over 29. This is a minus sign right here, right? My 23 is negative, so minus. And then we're going to have 23 over 29, and then our I is going to go here. It's not in the bottom of our fraction, it's just next to our fraction. Just like if this was a positive square root of 20 and a positive square root of 45, you can't add those until they look the same, right? We have to have those inside numbers, the square root number, the same first. So we've got to simplify both of these. So simplifying first, we're going to have I square root of 20 plus I square root of 45, and then we need to start simplifying. So if you need to do your little factor trees, this is going to come out as 2i square root of 5 plus 45. Let's see, that's 9 times something, 9 times 5, so that's going to be 3i square root of 5. Now that they look the same because they have two things in common. They both have the imaginary. They both have the 5 inside the square root. They have to have both of those. If one has an imaginary and one doesn't, you could not add those together. Okay? Because they have both of those, we just add, so we're going to get 5i square root of 5. And that's our answer. I'm on my plan period, and I have a sub the last 2 days this week, so I am going to work on my sub plans. I did spend a little bit of time over fall break doing sub plans as well, so I'm going to finalize those, and I'm going to get all the copies made that I need for my kids for the 2 days that I'm going to be gone for the sub, and then work on catching up on grading. Got my copies made for my pre-cal class, and what they are going to do, really excited about this, is they're going to work on, they're doing complex numbers, imaginary numbers. So I've got 3 different paper chain activities that they're going to work on. So one of them is multiplying complex numbers. So they have 2 pages that they're going to get, and they're going to start with number 1, and then whatever they get for the answer for that, so let's say the answer is this one right here, this is the next one that they would complete, and they would go all the way through until they get to the last one and that answer, and then they cut out all of the different strips here and they glue them together to make a paper chain. So it's just a fun spin on having them practice. So rather than just giving them a worksheet, it gives them something fun to do, you know, the cutting, the gluing, the, you know, feeling like they are in kindergarten. They do like that every once in a while. So the first one that they have is, or one of the ones that they have, is the multiplying complex numbers. The second of the 3 activities that the students are going to work on is simplifying complex square roots. So I know that's one thing that they struggle with. So we've got where they're adding and subtracting, but also where we have the division. So this is really working on when they use the quadratic formula and they have complex answers, imaginary answers. So the same thing. So it's the same idea. They're still making the paper chain. So they've got the 2 pages and they're doing that. And the third topic that they are going to be working on is adding and subtracting complex numbers. Normally I wouldn't have them do all 3, but I figure with a block schedule, 90 minutes, my pre-cal kids should be able to get through all 3 of these different activities with the sub. So I'm going to work on now getting this big old mess organized and a little bit more user-friendly for when the students are here, so that they are sure that they get all of the different pieces. I did talk them through this already, so they know what to expect, especially because it's an activity we haven't done before. So I'm gonna get the camera flipped around, and I'm gonna keep working on getting my sub plans ready. My prep period is over and it is lunchtime, so I have one of these little cup noodles stir fries. These are fantastic. A lot of times I will bring leftovers from home, and this morning I just didn't have the energy to do that, so I always keep a couple of microwavable meals in my classroom, things that don't need to be refrigerated. So this is one of the things that I love having. They're not bad either. So I'm going to eat lunch, and then I have one more geometry class today, and then I am going to get my room picked up and go home. So I'm going to eat lunch, watch a little bit of YouTube, and I will check in with you guys later. So I was on my way to the restroom and saw this, so not excited about it. I know it's not coming out as well on camera, but yep, definitely snowing, so happy Halloween. We are going to do our Unit 3 project. We are going to go back to the idea of symmetry, and we're going to talk about reflection symmetry. So what is reflection symmetry? Yeah, so when we fold it over, it's the same. Okay. So you guys are going to create a word art using symmetry, and you can use name or you can use a word. So I'm just going to show you guys some examples of what these look like. So here's one. Here's another example that we have. You are going to write it one time, and then you are going to use reflection symmetry to recreate what you wrote over and over and over again. In fact, it takes 8 of these to fill up the paper. We're going to go ahead and get started with this. You do not need the black marker right now, so put it down. Put the cap on it, put it down. Not using it yet. We need to get our paper set up in order to do this correctly. It's a square piece of paper, so it doesn't matter which way you're holding it. You're going to take your paper and you're going to fold it in half. Be very careful. Try to fold it as perfect as possible. Fold it in half. And then unfold it. Now you're going to fold it in half the other way. Open it back up. Your paper should look like mine. Hey, now we're going to fold it in half again. Except, just don't let me. We're going to fold it diagonally in half. One way, open it, fold it diagonally in half the other way. This is the easy part, guys. We're just folding paper. Yeah, this is supposed to be the easy part.
It's the hard part. It's not the easy part. It's the hard part.
With your pencil, not the black marker. Pencil. It doesn't matter which side you're using because the paper is the exact same thing on both sides. You are going to put an X on one side on every single one of those triangles. Okay, you don't have to draw it super dark, but just enough that you can see it. So make them, kind of big because you're going to want to know this is the back side, the side that we are not going to be doing anything else on, any of the actual work on. So that is all we are doing on the back. Everything else is going to go on the front. So the front now has nothing on it. The front is our blank side. We are going to put our word, our name, whatever it is, on one of the triangles. That is it. That is the only thing you're going to write on. But you are only doing this on one of the spaces. That's it. When you do this, keep in mind the ones that looked really cool, right? They did fun bubble letters. They did block letters, right? They filled up the space. Do block letters, do bubble letters. Even if you're like, I don't know how to do block letters, I don't either. What I did was I really lightly drew a D and then I went around it. Okay, that's a really bad, but right? Draw it lightly and then draw around it and that'll make it bubble letters or block letters. Okay, you guys are in arts and communications, be artsy. You're going to take your black marker and you are going to trace everything you just did in pencil with that black marker. In order to use reflection symmetry, we are actually going to reflect our thing. So the reason why we folded it, first of all, it gives us the regions where we're going to continue to do our picture, but we are actually going to fold our paper, and if you hold it up to the light, you can see through it, right? Yeah, you're like, oh. Now, if you could see through it, what could you do to make sure it looked exactly the same? Trace it. So we're going to do that, except is it going to be easy to do this and try to trace? No. So what we are going to do in just a minute, we are going to just go over to our hub. We're going to pretend that this is a window. I realize it's not a window, guys. And I know you know it's not a window. What you're going to do is you're going to fold your paper in half. Now, when you fold it, if you fold it and you see X's, you folded it the wrong way. And that's why we put the X's, so that you're like, shoot, I folded it the wrong way. Okay? So you're going to fold it so you don't see X's. And then once we get into the hub, we're going to use the windows, but I need you guys to listen, please. So everybody put your papers down now that you know you can see through. Okay? You're going to share window space. We can fit 3 people on each window. You're going to go to the window, and I obviously can't see through this, but we're going to pretend we can. With my pencil, I'm going to trace what I can see. It is the end of the day, thankfully. It's a little bit after 4 o'clock. The staff that dressed up today met and took a staff picture with maybe not everybody, but a lot of us. So I will try to insert a picture somewhere over here with that. And with that, that's the end of my day. I'm packing up and heading home so I can take my kids trick-or-treating or send my kids out trick-or-treating. They're 13 and 15, so they are going with their cousins. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in following along with my journey of teaching high school math, please subscribe. I do upload videos every Friday, so hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload my next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.